Hello, everyone. Welcome to quarantine day 43. So today I was planning to dive into the Renaissance, but after thinking about the video for the weekend, I decided I was going to split it up into kind of a pre-Renaissance and then an actual Renaissance. So the Renaissance spanned from about 1450 to 1600, and we see a lot of change in this time period. Music will start to be written specifically for instruments along with vocal music. Metered rhythmic music is going to emerge, as will harmony, both in what we call homophonic and polyphonic styles. So polyphonic harmonies, that's when harmonies are created through essentially overlapping melodies. They don't have to line up rhythmically. It's just overlapping lines that create the harmony. Homophonic harmonies, that's when essentially we're using chords. We're looking at things that are going to be just block chords, less rhythmic variation, but creating harmony as under the same rhythm. So in this time period just before the Renaissance, traveling musicians are generally thought of as the source of news. You got to keep in mind that though the Romans did do some early forms of a newspaper, it's still hundreds of years before the printing press, and newspapers are really going to start around the year 1600. In the 1100s, we know that medieval dances are emerging, which are going to be played by a single instrument, sometimes with a drone accompaniment. Sometimes other musicians might have also improvised accompaniments as well, but we don't truly know. We do have one of these early medieval dances that survived. It's called the Estampie. I might be pronouncing that wrong. It's a fast, strong, triple meter piece, and you can find a link in the description to a YouTube recording. In the church, some monks start to harmonize their Gregorian chants in fourths and fifths. At some point, maybe around 11 or 1200, they will then start to also improvise additional melodies to create the first polyphony. We call this Organum. It creates beautiful harmonies by essentially finding overlapping melodies. These melodies don't need to have the same rhythm and can be quite complex. The complexity develops to the point that the original chant might start to sound like a drone or even be unrecognizable. At the Cathedral of Notre Dame, yes, that Notre Dame, they decide they want to write down these organum and devise a musical notation to show the precise notes and rhythms. This system is much more limited than our current notation, but a lot of very intricate music is written using it. All rhythms under this notation must be subdivided in 3 to reflect the Holy Trinity. Interestingly, the music uses few of the triad chords, which are now the backbone of modern music. Coming out of the 100 Years' War and the bubonic plague, Europe has suffered greatly. The class and government systems start to fall, and even the church is divided. Music starts to be written in very different styles, not necessarily based on chants. And we have record of drinking songs and music imitating everyday life to include chirping birds and barking dogs. Around 1400, music notation evolves again, this time allowing for a greater range of rhythmic notation, and there's a rise of syncopated rhythms. Composers in France, like Guillaume de Machaut, become the champion of this music, and this music is coined New Art. Machaut writes a mass for the Notre Dame Cathedral in the mid-14th century, which is going to set up the Mass Ordinary, which is still used today. In our next video, we're going to dive into the actual Renaissance. It's a time of great development in Europe physically, philosophically, and intellectually. Music and art are going to be central to this. Names are going to be Columbus, Magellan, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Queen Elizabeth, Martin Luther, Galileo, and all the Ninja Turtles. We're going to see emergence of inventions like the printing press, the telescope, the microscope, and even the flush toilet. I'll see you on the next one.